So we're here today with Matt Reynolds, the Executive Director of the Grace Family of Churches, and we've got some important news to share. Might as well go ahead and get right out with it that, Matt, you're going to be stepping away from your current role at the Grace Family of Churches. Tell us a little bit about, what God's been doing in your heart and why you felt like it was important to make this change.
Yeah, it's been a great journey at Grace. I've been at Grace for 20 years now. Got baptized on Easter in high school and been on staff for about 16 years and just seen Grace go from one church to 10 churches and all these partnerships. Right. And but I have been feeling this stirring, like something's not quite right. There's something next. There's something else, and feeling like I've got to take this step, take this leap. So really the phrase that's been coming to me is it's less of a leaving. I'm not leaving Grace. I feel like I'm being launched from Grace.
Yeah. Well, that's what we believe at Grace. We no one at Grace thinks that we're going to be in the same positions for forever. We're all on a leadership journey. We're all on a missional journey for where God is taking us next. And it requires all of us being brave enough to take that next step. So with that said, you're officially done at the Grace Family of Churches in your current role.
At the end of June.
At the end of June.
June 26th.
Yeah. You have any inclination of what God might be leading you toward next?
Yeah, I've really felt like it's been so fun to see the churches grow, to plant churches, to plant different communities. That's been my passion. That's been what we've seen happen at all different levels, whatever that looks like, a micro church, a house church, a church plant, a mission, team, movement. And I really do feel this distinct call to go outside the walls of the church formally, where we've always been sending people outside the walls, but I've been primarily working inside the walls to do that. And now I feel like I'm being invited into the thing I've been inviting people into, which is like, it's time to go out, buddy. It's time to get out there. And so I do see that happening, maybe in the business context, but just really outside the walls in a way that feels like I've been rooted, and now it's time to step into that renegade space again.
Well, I love, the way that you talked about that. You're not leaving Grace. You're taking your next step. And really, you're taking Grace with you. This is what we call every believer to do. So I just want to ask you a question. As you think about this next venture, what are some things that you're taking from Grace or taking with you as still Grace? Because you're not leaving, you're still Grace. You're taking, what are some things from Grace that you're taking with you into this next adventure?
No, that's a great question. There really is so much. I feel like I am taking faith and risk, because that's something we've been a champion of. So I feel like I've got to do what I've seen so many other people do, and what I've done in the past. So I'm excited about it.
One of our values is pressing the edges. So this is a press the edges moment.
I'm walking the plank again. It's like, all right, catch me, Lord. And so, there's a faith, there's a risk, but there's such a rich community here. There's such a healthy culture. We talk about cultivating a movement of healthy churches. I feel like I'm taking health with me, and I want to bring health, whether it be to leaders, to teams. So I think those are just some of the simple things. I think we also believe in hearing what God is saying and then doing it. Yeah. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah. And I hope I can teach other people how to do that, maybe in a way they wouldn't step into a church and hear that message, but maybe they would experience that message. Maybe they would learn to start walking in that themselves. So there's so much. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's part of our whole DNA. So many places there's this big distinction between the sacred and the secular, and we're saying actually no, the sacred can invade the secular. That when people in our churches go to work, or when they are out playing, or where they're living in their neighborhoods, that's not just secular territory. That's a place for the sacred to come into. You're going to be taking that journey with you. What are some things though that maybe as you think about what you're leaving behind in a certain way, someone else is going to fill your position. Grace is going to continue to go forward. What are some things that you would want to speak to the family about as kind of parting words? All throughout the Bible, you've got leaders and you got their final words. Deuteronomy is Moses' final words before the people of Israel go to the promised land. What might be some of your final words that you want to give us?
That's a big one. I know personally, if I don't go, I feel like I'm personally leaving behind fear and comfort. I feel like I'm making a decision to say I'm not going to live in that. I've got to. But what do I want to leave Grace with, I mean, I think our mission is so good to raise up the next generation. Like, I just think I'm more convicted than ever. You got to reach the next generation and raise up the next generation. If you lose that, you lose everything. And also continuing to invest in these healthy churches. I think the health of our leaders is just so important. You know, are we committed to being healthy leaders, leading ourselves? Are we committed to investing in others in a healthy way? But I think we don't underestimate the power of the family. I mean, this is a special, unique thing that we have. And the more you go outside and travel and talk to different churches, it's like you just hear how valuable people are going, wow, you guys really got something at Grace. And when you're in it, sometimes you lose sight of it. It's like you don't see how beautiful your family is until you're not with them. You're like, man, I really had a good thing going. I mean, I see that knowing I'm about to step out, and that's what grieves me. I mean, it's bittersweet. And so I just think for us to know, like, yeah, we're all in this. We're different churches. We're different leaders, but we're stronger together. We're better together. We have something special here as the family churches. So I'm still going to be investing in that. I'm still going to be serving in that. I'm still going to be promoting that. I mean, that's easy to me, and I feel passionate about that.
Yeah, well, we all believe that healthy things grow, and healthy leaders grow, and as healthy leaders grow, they have to take their next steps. So what we want to say from the family of churches is thank you for your leadership these past 20 plus years. I mean, the way that God has used you at Midtown, well, first in the youth group, and then in Midtown, and then at the family of churches, we don't take for granted, and we look forward to seeing the way God's going to use you in the future. But we today just wanted to say a collective thank you to you.
Yeah.
So we got you this card. No, we didn't actually. But we did want to say thank you.
Man.
We did want to say thank you to you, and I hope you know that we love you and your family, and we believe in you, and we're behind you every step of the way. So thank you for your service here at Grace.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave, and thanks, Grace. It means a lot.